Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ferrum Football First and 10. I'm your host, Jordan Mann, and with me, as always, Coach Rob Grande. Coach, congrats on the big win. Back-to-back weeks come from behind wins, on the road, too, at Methodist. Ferrum comes off of 19-14 win. Like I said, at Methodist, it was a little 2-minute drill for both teams, as we'll recap, but Ferrum scored with about a minute 55 left, and then Methodist had a scare against our defense getting down, but it was basically a goal line stand. It was goal to go, first down from like the 6-yard line, but we held them for the win.
Yeah, it was one of those games that you go back and forth. We had made some errors in the kicking game, which gave them some opportunities that they capitalized on, and we were moving the ball between the 20s and struggling a little bit inside the 20, settled on a few field goal opportunities, and Brad knocked 2 through, and got a score late coming off a big punt return to set the table there, with a 96-yard drive to take the lead for the first time in the game. So
yeah, it was a run-heavy offense for Ferrum, to say the least, as Mann had 41 rushing attempts for 232 yards. Coach, was that the game plan? Like, did you realize how much you were handing it off to Mann throughout the game, or did you see the box score like, wow, 41 carries?
Well, I saw it at halftime. He'd had a high volume, and it necessarily going into any game, we don't target anything that much. It kind of, the game dictates what's working, and just wound up being a high volume day for him, and he handled it like he always does. But to say we planned that wasn't necessarily the plan. In some games you got to throw more, and the Newport News game we threw it around the yard a little bit more, and like to have a little more of a balance. But well, I prefer winning, and we won, so we must have done something right.
Yep, and fun fact for you, he finished 1 carry shy of the all-time D3 record that's held by Emmanuel Baker from Shawan College in 1996, so maybe just one more carry could have made history.
That should prove to everybody we didn't plan it, or else we would have got the record. If we were planning on a high-volume day, we would have certainly made that in our plans.
So we'll go back for the game recap like we normally do every week. We'll start early in the first quarter. Camp had a big interception in the red zone at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, we had thrown one to them, and on the ensuing drive, AJ made a heck of a grab there that stopped them from scoring, and we had to dig the ball out from the 2-yard line. But I'd rather do that than have them score, and made a really nice play. And
then Ferrum gets on the board first, like you said, 21-yard field goal by Green. But then Ferrum fumbled a punt return that was recovered by Methodist, and they scored to go up 7-3.
Yeah, just communication error on my part to the return men, and then just got twisted around a little bit. Kid hit the ball a little better than we had anticipated, and just one of those plays that you like to get back, you can't, and we got to move forward from it.
No, it was a grinded-out game, as 19-14 was the final, but it was 7-3 half trailing. What was your message to the team at half?
Well, it's the same as it was during the week, and I said this, I think, on the show last week. When you watch their film, they're not a 1-6 team, but at the end of 60 minutes they were, and I think our kids understood that, so they weren't panicking because we emphasized, they were a quality opponent. They just hadn't finished games, and their record didn't reflect, I felt, how good they potentially could be. So we just had to continue to work hard and clean some things up, and come back out and finish the game.
Well, I've always heard too, as being a former athlete here, that when you go into opponent's territory, especially one that's struggling like Methodist was, they're always going to be hungry, and they're always going to leave it out on the field. Like you said, they're better than what their record shows, and they're going to come out with that tenacity. And that's what they did to start the second half. They had that blocked punt, and it resulted in a touchdown after a 15-yard pass go up 14-3.
Yeah, and again, the kicking game kind of nicked us in the shin, and there's reasons for all those things, and then they took advantage of the field position and went up 14-3, and certainly put us back against the wall, and had to work our way back to get the victory.
Yeah, and that came with, they made 2 special teams plays to go up 14-3, but then Ferrum got a little taste of that with after a 37-yard punt, Dre Davis returned at 53 yards, flipped the field, and set up 2 runs from Mann from 26 and then 3 yards out to make it a 14-10 game.
Yeah, Dre's a dynamic player. I mean, he's a freshman. He's got a few catches, went over 100 yards with 7 catches, and had the big touchdown to take the lead there on the screen pass. And he gets an open field. He's dangerous. He lost his shoe about 40 yards from the completion of that, or else he might have been able to cut back. And but it was a huge play to get us in great position, and then capping that off with 2 plays to cut the lead to 14-10 was a a big point in the third quarter.
Now going into the fourth, Ferrum got it back in the red zone and settled for 3 again, make it 14-13. What adjustments do you think needs to be made after this week and then past week, ending in 3 points instead of 6 inside the red zone?
We got to score before we get in the red zone. I guess that's what it tells me. We got to score from a little further out. But no, I mean, it's just a credit to their defense making plays. You know, the field gets shortened and it gets tougher sledding down there, and just need to continue to work at that area. But the game so much in the red zone, turnovers and third downs is all part of things that we talk about and we work on. But credit Methodist for tightening up down there and forcing us to kick a few balls.
Now going into the go-ahead drive, it did not start off easy. It was at the 4-yard line, our own 4.
Yeah, we got to stop on their side near midfield, and they had a kind of a tough punt for us to field, and they wound up downing the ball at the 4 to put us backed up, and had to go the distance there, and credit the offense for converting, I think, a big third down and continuing the drive with setting up the next play. Actually was the screen pass to Dre, which he took the distance. It's
pretty remarkable, a 96-yard drive, and there was only one third down play that you had to convert, and that was the 3rd and 9. It was a 12-yard pass to Mann. But usually a 96-yard drive, you got to make a couple key third down plays, but the offense was moving the sticks, and like you said, only one third down. So that's a great feel to have as a head coach, to not stress about third down situations late in the game.
There's other things to stress about, but that's one thing we didn't have to stress about on that drive.
Yeah, that went up to go up 19-14 with just under 2 minutes to play, but Methodist got the ball back, and then Methodist moved the ball all the way down the field, but it came off a miraculous 41-yard catch from the wide receiver to put him around the 21, and then they moved the ball within the 6-yard line. And tell me about the last 2 incompletions in the game.
Well, they made a few big plays and moved the ball down into striking distance. Obviously, down by 5, they needed a touchdown, and they ran the ball, and then they had a third down play that Dustin Swain, actually one of our safeties from Salem, made a heck of a poke out right there on the goal line in the end zone. That would have made the difference there, and set up the 4th down play, which we had changed some coverage there on that particular play, and came up big with the breakup to seal the victory and come out in victory formation there.
Yeah, and just a couple other stats. Swain and Brown actually led the team in tackling with 10. The defense had 12 tackles for a loss, 3 sacks and an interception. We talked about, I think it was last week, we talked about how good the defense has been throughout the year, and they came up big again. I mean, defense wins ball games, and 6-2 now, 4-game winning streak. What's the mindset going last home game, senior day, against a Greensboro Pride team, a struggling Greensboro Pride team?
Well, as we turn the calendar to November, you forget where the season went, and you're culminating careers of some 14 really good kids, and been committed to Ferrum and the program, and it's exciting. It's kind of bittersweet, and you want to focus on the little things that make up the game on Saturday, and the most important thing is to come out with a victory, and that's something that we've talked about and had a good Monday and Tuesday. Looking forward to another good work day today to get ready for Greensboro.
Well, Coach, good luck against Greensboro. Ferrum fans and students, please come out. It's senior day, and you got to award these Panthers, winning 4 straight right now, looking to go 7-2 and 4-2 in conference. Coach, as always, thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Jordan.